Hello again, everyone. Scoons Comics here with another exciting, also thrilling comic book haul. Yes. Hello. How are you? Good to see you again. I have not really bought much new this week, but I have been consistently making videos the last month or so, and I was not going to have that streak be broken. So we'll talk about the couple of things I did get, and then I just dug through the collection and found some random goodies, and we're going to talk about them. I got some great reads to share with y'all. I have some Silver Age goodness and some underrated key books that you should have in your collection, or you just might want to learn about. I don't know. Let's just talk. So I picked up because I'm never going to stop collecting Death and Return of Superman stuff. There's always stuff. I keep finding it. I keep buying it. Comics Values Monthly Superman Memorial Issue. This is really cool. I really didn't know anything about this magazine, but this has a ton of articles just about Superman history. Has this long, intense interview with Siegel and Schuster, creators of Superman. So that's really nifty. And it has this great cover that is very much in the spirits. Well, it's almost a near copy of Amazing Adventures of Superman. Amazing Superman, that'd be insane. Adventures of Superman, $4.99. So that's really cool. And in that same vein, I found this Comics Values Monthly number 82 from June of 93, featuring the logos for the four pretenders to the Superman throne when Superman came back to life. So we had Superboy and Steel, Cyborg Superman, the Eradicator, all this cool stuff here. So yeah, that was, I paid like $4 a piece for each of them. Not much, but I will happily add it to the never-ending Superman collection. And the only other new thing that I really got was Free Comic Book Day. I think I got this a couple weeks ago. Well, yeah, because it was Free Comic Book Day. Sure. The Energon universe kicking off the Mask series here. They did Transformers. They've done G.I. Joe. Now we're tackling the great 80s property Mask. Mobile Armored Strike Command. Command with a K. For reasons. So that got me thinking about the original Mask comic book series. And if you are a speculator looking for the next big thing, you could do a lot worse than picking up the first 4-issue miniseries Mask from 1985 DC Comics. I was just looking on eBay. You get the whole first 4 issues for like $50 on eBay. And if this new comic takes off, I'm sure that it's not going to be $50 for long. I'm going to keep shooting up. But so I dug these out, gave me an excuse to look at these for the first time in a trillion years. Quite honestly, I was like, do I own the first issues of Mask? And I do. So here was issue 1. It's not the best series, but here's issue 2. This is Matt Tracker, leader of Mask. He has been reimagined in this new series as an African-American gentleman. Here he's as white can be, with hair as yellow as the sun. Kind of creepy. Issue 3. Here's the best cover of the lot. Here's issue 4. Got a bunch of characters there. Got a goofy glare, but you'll have that. So yeah, cool little series there. And then, if you want to really keep going, they did a 9-issue regular series after that, and here is the first issue of that. And this has artwork by Curt Swan, DC Comics legend Curt Swan, so that's pretty cool. These bags are so old, I can see them more on the video than I can in real life here, but Ugh. Need to rebag and board. Now that I got the comics all organized, I need to rebag and board a ton of them, but that's an ongoing project for another day. I'm going to show this book just because I haven't shown a DC Universe logo book in a couple videos now, and I'm afraid people are going to get concerned. So, dug into my collection for this, just as I'll say, Justice League America 95, DC Universe logo variant. This is an ugly cover. What a boring cover. Who's going to pick this up off the rack? This is a bunch of characters, a bunch of C-list characters at best. Nobody cares about. Why would you pick this book up? I don't know. It's weird. But I picked it up because it has a logo that's different and I like it. Ha What a weirdo. I was watching Comic Tom this morning doing the top 10 or hot 10 or top 10 whatever books. And he was talking about this book, Masters of the Universe #1 from Marvel Comics Star comic line. And, you know, the movie is coming out here in a few weeks, so this book's pretty popular. But it's not the first appearance of He-Man at all. And 4 years previously, a much cooler cover on this series done by DC Comics. So this looks much cooler, earlier, but not worth nearly as much as this book. Why? I don't understand. I mean, if you like He-Man, this is your superior He-Man cover to me. I don't know. But I thought that was interesting. He-Man. All right, a little comic history for everybody here. I pulled out Silver Surfer number 18. And this is the, I'm even going to take it out of the bag and board. This is the very last Jack Kirby drawn comic book at Marvel before he went off to DC. And he knew he was going. He got this assignment to draw this last issue of Silver Surfer, a character he created. And it's always so interesting to me just to see these last panels where the Silver Surfer is just distraught down here. And then the very last page, he's just screaming at the camera, just screaming at the reader, screaming at everyone. And I just think that's really interesting that the last thing Kirby did for for Marvel, is this image of just the Silver Surfer just angry. It's pretty cool. I mean, he came back to Marvel in the later 70s to do some covers, did a few series, the Eternals, Devil Dinosaur, a bunch of oddball stuff. But never again the heights of glory that he had here, and he was not happy. So that's just an interesting book. Little oddball piece of Marvel history, comic history that I'm happy I have. And then that got me thinking about Jack Kirby and Silver Age Marvel and how expensive Silver Age Marvel is. So I wanted to show a few books that are affordable and kind of oddball hidden and you need in your collection, man. So one of my favorite pieces is Tales of Asgard #1. This is a one-shot from 1968, I believe. 67? I'm not sure. 68, 67. And this has this great Jack Kirby cover. This is reprinting a bunch of backup stories that were in the Thor comics. And they feature all the other Asgardian characters. And it's just, you could pick this up and you don't need to know anything about these characters. They give you a little history lesson right here. Well, Marvel's version of the Thor mythology, Norse mythology. But what's also really cool about this, they're all drawn by Jack Kirby, written by Stan Lee, but the inkers, it's a whole rotating team of inkers on this. So you get to see Jack Kirby's artwork done by a lot of different inkers. And that's pretty interesting to see who you prefer, which style looks better to you. It's all in one issue here, so it's a lot of fun to kind of go in there and compare who makes his pencil work look the best. But you can pick this up eBay and mid-grade for 20-30 bucks, man. I mean, you could also pick it up a nicer grade for anywhere from $50 to $100, but very affordable book. And then we have this one, which I need a nicer copy of. This is from ABC, not from Marvel, even though we got a lot of Marvel stuff in here. America's Best TV Comics. So this shows the entire lineup, not just of Saturday mornings on ABC, but they have all these, it's their entire lineup. There's like ads in here for Westerns and all their shows. There's a couple reprinted comics in here of a Fantastic Four story, of an Amazing Spider-Man story. But what's so interesting about this to me, well, a lot of things. You have this Jack Kirby Mr. Fantastic cover here. But then on the inside of this, let's see if I rip this poor book apart, because it's frail. Well, first of all, you have King Kong on the cover. So you have a comic book featuring Spider-Man and King Kong. So that's interesting. Not that they appear in the same story. But what I really like about this, as far as just an oddity, is you have this ad for Batman in here, the TV show. So would this be, I think, the first officially licensed book to feature both Batman and Spider-Man? I don't know. But it's pretty cool. Neat little thing. But that's another book you can pick up in better grade than I have. I think I only paid like $8 for this at a comic show once. But you can pick this up $40. Again, in mid-grade. If you want to get something pristine, it's going to always cost you more. But if you just want to own a cool piece, you can do a lot worse than this. Okay, what else do I have? I'm going to show a few good and cheap books just for reading, just for enjoying comic books. And I went through my collection and I said, yes, these are 3 books I want to highlight. Tangent Comics, The Atom. Okay, Tangent was a thing that DC Comics did back in the 90s, spearheaded by Dan Jurgens. He, the creator, writer, artist of The Death of Superman, ton of Superman. He was on main Superman title forever. He's done a lot of great work. He worked on Thor. He's done a ton of stuff. He's great. But so in the Silver Age of comics, they reimagined a lot of the DC characters. They just gave them new personas. Like the Flash was the first Silver Age character. It's not the same as the characters, the Golden Age Flash. They just took the name and the power set and they gave it to a whole new guy. Did that for a lot of characters. So Dan Jurgens thought, what if we did that now? Here's a character called the Atom, who's not Ray Palmer Atom that we know. He shrinks down real small, fights crime, gets in wacky adventures. He reimagined the Atom as more of a Superman type character. And these are all, the whole Tangent, so there's the whole line of books, it's all one-shots, and they're all great. They're all self-contained stories. You don't need anything except what you got in your hands, and they're all great. But I'm just going to spotlight 3 of them here. So this is the Atom, Dan Jurgens' The Atom. And then we have Secret Six by Chuck Dixon and Tom Grummett. I like that team a lot, and this is just a real fun superhero team book. It made me wish that this team did Teen Titans together back in the day. So it's a lot of fun. It's just a fun book. And then, man, this one was darker. This one was more of like a horror anthology. Green Lantern from James Robinson and J.H. Williams III. J.H. Williams III is an amazing artist. James Robinson is James Robinson, one of my favorite writers. But this just has 3 stories in it. It's kind of like a Crypt Keeper kind of thing, right? Green Lantern is the linking character, the narrator for all these stories. And they're great. We got Captain Comet in here. It's so good. And just I find these all the time in dollar bids at half price books or local comic shows. So if you ever see the Tangent comic stuff, that dang glare, Tangent, pick it up, man. It's a good read every time. And last but not least, I've shown this book before, but still, it is so slept on. It is just, I don't know why this book is not worth $1,000 plus. But we're going to talk about Strange Tales Annual number 2. This is from 1963, right? 63. And features the 4th appearance of the Amazing Spider-Man. The 4th time he appeared in comics is right here in this book. Drawn by Jack Kirby, inked by Steve Ditko. I mean, they didn't even he didn't even famously have the Spider-Man logo, the little spider logo on his chest there. And this book, in really nice grade, it can go for $800, okay? If you really want to get a 9 point whatever. But you can get a mid-grade of this for a few $100s, $200. And if you try to get the 5th appearance of Spider-Man and like Amazing Spider-Man, whatever that is, that's going to cost you way more, even in mid-grade. So this book, man, pick it up. I keep waiting for it to shoot through the roof. And even if it doesn't, it's still a really cool comic. Jack Kirby doing Spider-Man. Oof, great book. Great book. This is a fun game. I like to have an excuse to go through my comic collection and find things to show off. So, awesome. That is what I have this time, people. I'm going to a local comic show on Saturday. I hope to have a big stack of goodies to show next week. We shall see. Wish me luck. But I will talk to you all next week. Take care, everybody.